Okay, well, the funniest joke ever tonight that you will ever hear is the fact that they asked me back. That has got to be the most hilarious part of it. I kept timing myself, and I was around 10, 12 minutes, so I'm just going to ramble. Welcome to my ramble. Gary and I are retired. We've been married 50 years as of a couple of weeks ago. And, but we're not really married. There seems to be a problem with the fact that we got married so young. All of our friends were young. You cannot have children, apparently, be your witnesses. There's some problem with that. He was one of them. When we adopted our first child, they mentioned it at the adoption agency, and we're like, what? And they're like, doesn't matter, did you have a wedding? And we're like, yeah, we had a wedding. Were there people there? Yes, there were people. Grown-ups? Yes, there were grown-ups. So as long as they could get an affidavit if needed, we're good. But it's an interesting little story to tell. So anyhow, we are retired now, and I've been setting us up for about 10 years or so to be relevant, have things to do once we actually retired, because I didn't want to just sit on the couch and watch TV, which we kind of did, but I had things set up. One of our favorite things that we've done over the years, and it's sadly coming to an end, we've worked at a tiger sanctuary. We've gone down there and hosted different events and fundraising stuff and education and, all sorts of really cool stuff. I'm going to miss them. Some of them have passed away because we've been there so long, 10 years or better. One of our favorites, one of everybody's favorites, was Izzy. Izzy had his own root beer called Fizzy Izzy. That still exists. I don't know for how long, but it does still exist. But he was such a sweetie. Our tigers, at a true sanctuary, you never have human expectations. They only learn what they need to learn to eat and receive medical care. But they do need enrichment. We learned a lot about that when we were down there. We would take perfume and spices and make trails throughout their yards for them to follow, and then there'd be something at the end, like a chicken or something. And they paint. They sell paintings down at our tiger sanctuary. Some of them do it with their face and their tongue, and you'll get little hairs and things in there. And some of them will do it with their feet. And then if we have to do an immobilization, we will do footprints and stuff like that. So a lot of the interns would do enrichment things for the tigers. And generally, you can't use like tape and staples and stuff. It has to be very carefully done with natural glues and paints. So I remember one time we were down there for the adopted parents, because you can adopt our tigers too. They're moving to Turpentine Creek if anyone is interested in following them. That's in Arkansas. But anyway, this one rainy adoptive parents picnic, we were all down there visiting them, and the interns had made this, there was always a theme to these things, and so there was a box that was all painted up and stuff, but it had been raining all morning, and Izzy stuck his head in there and pulled it out, and he was just a rainbow tiger. He was purples and golds and everything. It was really, really fun and really sweet. So he was one of our favorites. And we did have a lioness for a while. She passed away very shortly after we started down there, but she was really funny. Her name was Alexa, and at that time, they did a bone day on Sundays where they just got bones instead of real food, because you wouldn't find regular real food out in the wild. So she would be very, very possessive of her bones. She would get up on her raised platform, and she would take it and she would hold it and she would be eating on it and stuff. But she'd be real excited, so her tail would be going. And it would ever so often enter her line of sight, and she'd attack it, thinking it was going to steal her bone. It was so cute. And there's two domestic cats that live down there, Biscuit and Watson. And Watson is, as my daughter calls him, an attention whore. There's just no getting around it. When Izzy and he were in the same area at all, and people were paying attention to any of the tigers, but particularly Izzy. They had a thing going. He would knock you down to get in front. I remember one time I was going up the stairs to the office observation platform, and the roof kind of curves at the same level. He knocked me down to get in front of the tigers in the crowd between the two. It was funny. He's funny. He would come and sleep with you because they had lodging, and he'd come get in your house or your car or whatever. So I'm really hoping that they all find good homes and move on. So anyway, other things that we've done to get ready for retirement. I've done a bunch of literacy stuff, things that are not funny, just, good things to do. But, of course, trivia. That's kind of become really big for us. We don't look at it as a game. It's a job. We study for Monday nights like it's the SATs. We have nothing better to do, you guys. We can look up and see what date Adam Sandler's dog was born on. We can delve into what town Stephen King's school librarian grew up in. We can find out whether Eddie Murphy is allergic to spinach. We have all the time in the world to do these things. So anyway, God, my mother's here. My family is my trivia team. My mom is 87, maybe a hair deaf, I don't know. Anyway, she sits at the opposite end of the table, and I find myself here in public, stage shouting things like, the answers. She wants to know what our answers are going to be. It's a thruple, Mom. A thruple. Got it? Glow-in-the-dark anal beads, Mom. These are things I never thought I would say to her, let alone shouting them in public. So that's been interesting. But anyway, speaking of celebrities, my favorite celebrity story, we were in LA a few years ago, and we searched the whole time we were there. We wanted to see celebrities. We were looking high and low. Didn't see anybody. Got back to LAX to get on the plane, and the security line would weave back and forth so that you would end up meeting people that had been behind you and things. So I'm standing there and like, okay, we're going to get on the plane, we're going to go, blah, blah, blah. And here comes Billy Joel coming right straight at me. And we had a conversation. Nobody said a word, but we had a conversation. I went, ah, and he went, oh, and I went, oh, and he went, whew. So he's a very nice man, but apparently a little jumpy. I don't know. But anyway, so travel. That's another thing we've been doing an awful lot of since we've been retired and before. The first time we drove to Canada, which it seems like all of our more interesting travel occurred either going, being, or coming home from Canada. We drove basically our hippie van. It was a white Econoline, like 75 or something. It had no windows, but it had a wraparound mural of the moon over water. It was really pretty. Inside, it was all shag carpeting and faux fur. I mean, walls, ceiling, floor, and the bed. There was a bed in the back. So we were going to Canada. We had a lovely time, and we're driving home. And we've gotten back as far as Michigan, and we hear on the radio that then Vice President Spiro Agnew was in town talking with car people. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. So we go on an up ramp to get on the highway, and suddenly we are in this sea of giant black limos with flags flapping in the wind. We are in the middle of his motorcade. It's like, oh my God. So I'm thinking that's probably the first page in our FBI dossier that ever came about. I'm sure they had us, thoroughly examined before the wheels turned on the car again. So anyway, so we're like, oh my God, we got to get out of here. And so Gear takes the first off ramp and smack dab into a big sign that says Ford Proving Ground, no entrance. So we're like, oh crap. But by then, they've all moved forward. So we got back on the road and everything was good. Got home safely, blah, blah, blah. The next time we went to Canada, well, all of us, I had gone before, but we had 2 baby boys. Ian Shane was about 3, and he was totally obsessed with this TV show on PBS called Today's Special. It was about a puppet named Muffy Mouse who lived in Simpson's department store in Toronto. And there was another puppet that was the security guard, and then there were 2 humans, one of which was a mannequin who at night would turn into a real boy, and, well, a man actually, and then this nice lady who was the person that dressed the dummies. So I'm thinking that could have gone all sorts of different ways, but it was a kid show. So anyway, the whole time we decided, okay, we're going to take a train and we're going to go to Toronto and we're going to find Muffy Mouse. So we had to wait about 4 days in Windsor because school was out and the trains were just packed. So we hung out and did stuff in Windsor and whatnot. And then the day came and we got up at dawn and got on the train and rode up there. And the whole way up there, I'm telling Ian Shane, man, we are going to have Muffy Mouse toys and books and jammies. And we're going to do your whole room in it. It's going to be great. And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. So we get up there. And this is where the second page of my FBI dossier came out. Seems that the World Economic Summit was going on in downtown Toronto, and I smacked into the Emperor of Japan, but everybody was good. Everybody was good, so we got a cab, and we got ourselves to Simpson's department store, and we got down there, rushed up to the kids' department, and not a freaking mouse to be seen anywhere. So we stopped this young lady that had a little name tag on that said Simpsons, and we're like, where's the mouse? We came all this way, 800 miles, and she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So she went and got a floor manager, and he came over, and he's laughing, and he's like, Americans, eh? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, we don't get that here. That show doesn't exist here. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, about every other month, one of you Americans come up looking for that bloody mouse. We have no idea what you're talking about. So luckily, Ian was not too upset. I bought him a stuffed red dinosaur, and off we went. That was, the trip home, though, believe it or not, became the spotlight of this situation. We got on the train, the packed train, to go back to Windsor that night, and there was this gaggle of little Girl Scouts that must have been on some safari in the city or field trip of some sort. So they all got on, and this was a different train than we had taken up there, obviously, and this one had a water cooler at the end of the car. And above it was a container that had these cone-shaped paper cups. Next to that was a rope with a little bead on the end of it. Well, these kids, for the first fourth of the journey or so, entertained themselves by going back and forth, drinking a glass of water, throwing it away, and the next group would come up, and this just went on and on and on, till this one little girl. I don't know if she thought pulling that rope was going to give her a cup, I dispense her a cup. I don't know what her thought process was, but it was the break. So we ground to a halt in the middle of God only knows where, in Ontario, and the conductors came running up, it's going to be a long night, folks. Apparently, to fix this thing, we had to drive a few feet, fix one wheel, drive a few feet, fix the other, the whole train, the whole freaking train. So yeah, that was a long night, and we had plans the next day, and I called my friend and said, we're going home. We're tired. So anyway, that was our travels to. There was a few other things that were pretty cool about Toronto. I've got to say, they're not there anymore, but at the base of the CN Tower used to be this like theme park thing that you could do called Tour of the Universe. Theoretically, you went through this airport of the future, and they shot you with these mists to like keep you from getting Mars mumps or something. And they had all these people in these costumes that were like something out of Star Wars stormtroopers. Never, ever broke character. It was really cool. And the whole thing was supposed to end with you shooting up through the CN Tower and shooting off into space. So it was really cool. We had a good time when we were up there. A lot of neat stuff. Most of it not there anymore, which is sad, other than maybe the CN Tower. But anyway, that was kind of our travels in Canada. I think I'm about ready to wrap this up, but I'm going to leave you with one thing. Our trivia teams. We really, as I say, lean into this. We have uniforms, we have the trivia tram that picks up people and drops them off and all that stuff. We have a team song. Now, I'm no singer, but it's kind of cute. We're the Beautiful Dreamers, and the song is to Beautiful Dreamer. Goes like this. Beautiful dreamers play every week. Their table decor is always on fleek. Be damn ask questions, making us think. And Manhattan's always has something to drink. Beautiful dreamers, trivia team. Beautiful dreamers with beautiful dreams. But it doesn't matter if we win or lose. Manhattan's always has plenty of booze.
Another great job, Deb. The weather's changed. It's gone from balls ass hot to extremely balls ass hot to not as balls ass hot to now frosty balls a little bit in the morning times. And so I can't get out as much to scoot because of obligations and stupid adulting. But I was out the other day and I saw a bunch of people on scooters and it pissed me off. Not because they were on scooters, but because no one's paid homage to me and my scooter gang. It's kind of upsetting. I was out scooting the other day, and this dude got cut off, and he tried to think that he could come into my lane. And I just sort of swerved back at him, and he looked at me like I was the asshole. I don't think so. I will wreck this shit in front of you. It's like, why are you riding my ass anyways? I'm on a fucking moped. If I wanted to go fast, I wouldn't be on a moped. Defeats the fucking purpose of being on said moped. So I take this little bastard everywhere, and as soon as I figure out how to get to go 50 miles an hour, motherfuckers are in trouble. That's all I'm saying. It's pretty sweet. But I'm not going to tell Candy that. She'll forget this, and then I'll soup the bastard up, and I'll suddenly be like, I need a costume. I'm going to fight crime. So I got this bitch in a scooter, and these bastards come in and they make fun of me. And I'm sitting here waiting today for Frank to show up and Glenn to show up to make sure I'm not getting ghosted. And Frank comes in his super sweet Jeep like he always does, and I realize that he's got these rack hangers for what I can only assume is originally for surfboards. And this motherfucker's gonna make fun of my scooter when he's a hazard to low-flying planes. But he's in the Air Force, so is he just leaning into it, or is he trying to, destroy it from within? Yes, no, you still have clearance. You still have clearance. My Jeeps. It's very nice. Frank's going to come up now, and he's going to entertain everyone.
All right, Frank.
Good evening. Whoa.
Yeah, I told you it was a lot better this time.
This
Very
mic
no
is
expenses.
awesome. So those rack things on top, actually for kayaks. So I tried getting on the runway just so we could replace some tires while the aircraft are coming in. They said no. So what's the difference between... Is this too loud?
No, you're good.
Okay. What's the difference between a rectal thermometer and a regular thermometer? The taste. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So now I got your attention. So thank you. Oh God. So we're gonna do a little trip down. It's called My Life. We're not gonna go any specific order. Maybe some newer stuff. Maybe some older stuff. Maybe some funny stuff. Maybe some I feel bad for this guy kind of stuff. So 2 weeks ago, I took my Jeep out four-wheeling. Went out to a place called Moonlight Races. About an hour and 30 minutes, somewhere out in Missouri. I went like this. Found my buddy, he had a big Gladiator. He's got a 6-inch lift, big lumping tires. He's like, yeah, I want to go off-road. I'm like, yeah, I want to go off-road. He took his wife and his two little kids, about yay tall. I took my wife, who's yay tall, and then my kids, who are much taller. So we all get in the Jeep. I took the doors off. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have a blast. Woo! Got sandwiches. So I went in and I touched the inner redneck in me, and I was super excited. We get there, don't know where the hell we're at. We pull into this dirt road. I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, we're getting ready. And then we come to this, looks like a warehouse. This old redneck guy comes out. You guys here for the racing now, bro? Yeah. Billy Bob. $20 a person. Unless you're 12 or under and free. I'm like, well, I'll pay 20. I got my 3 kids in the car. They're all under 12. My wife is 51. So, and my kids are 13 and 15, and they look older. So I'm like, yeah, here's your $20. I'm going to take the kids. Like, sounds good. I'm like, all right. So I followed my buddy. He paid $80. I'm like, you idiot. So we're driving. He gives us a map, right? I was like, okay, so here's the map. All right, so the green lines are your green trails, which means they're novice trails. You're not going to get crazy. The yellow lines are your intermediate trails. You need to have a vehicle that's lifted, big tires, And red means you're going to break something. So we went for the green, and we're driving all over, lost. The map is not to scale, and it sucked. So we were driving all over the place, couldn't find these trails. But we did find a mud hole. So my buddy, his name's Dakota, he gets out, he's in the lead, and he comes out and gets a stick. Hey, it's not that deep. Okay. Do it. So I'm like, all right. So I get my Jeep. I'm like, all right, kids, you ready? Yeah. My wife's like, ah. Shit. Let me put it in reverse. Just mud going everywhere. I'm like, I'm stuck. 15 minutes into the whole thing, I stuck in a mud hole. So we had to go back to, you guessed it, I already got your vehicle stuck. So Billy Bob, he was really like that tall and just hunched over, and his skin was all like sun-tanned and wrinkly, but he had some like muscle under there, which was scary. A big old white mustache sticking over. I think there was like chicken stuck to it. So he gave us a toe strap, and then my friend Dakota comes and tucks me out, and just mud everywhere. He's like, you want to go home? You want to keep going? I'm like, hold on. I'm like, she starts. Let's go. So yeah, I start doing donuts, getting the mud off everywhere. My kids are having a blast. Woo! My wife's like, ah! So I go, woo, ah! All in my ear at the same time. I don't want to scream too loud into this mic. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So now I'm following Dakota. I already learned peer pressure sucks. Don't listen to peer pressure. Okay? He's younger than I am, which is really dumb. So we're driving, and it's like, I'm checking the map every 10 feet. I'm like, dude, just drive. Who cares? And finally we get to this one spot, and it's like a 60-degree incline. We're going to do it. Oh my God, Dakota. And there's big ruts and everything. It's meant for bigger four-wheel vehicles, not ours. Did we do it? Yeah. It went about 120 yards, so, longer than a football field. And we're up there. Go, 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 go. I follow him. He goes all the way up. And then I hear him honk. Honk, honk. Come on, Frank. Fuck. Honk, honk. My wife's like, we're going to do this? Yes. All the way up to the top. We get to the top. He's like, how you doing? I'm like, I saw God. It was great. And then my wife was like, honey. I'm like, yeah. She gets out of the vehicle, and she's looking down. She's like, how are we going to get down? Oh, God. Hey, Dakota, we got to find another way down. So we drive all around this ridge line, and there's some trails and ups and downs and broken trees, and, we're driving over everything. Go, 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 go. They hit a couple things. So those kayak holders that are on the top of my Jeep, well, they got nice little things of foam. Well, me being an idiot, not thinking about taking them off, because I use Red Locker. You drive a speed, you know Red Locker, right? No? Okay, so Red Locker is like a glue. So you put it on your nuts and your bolts, you crank it. It's like a super glue, it makes it really hard. So I wanted to put it on there. No, well, Red Locker is stronger than Loctite. Yeah, that's all, folks. So Red Locker is stronger than Loctite. Yeah, much stronger. I can't get it off. So since I couldn't get it off, drove through, and of course those things are hitting every tree branch. Kunk, 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 and they're falling on top of me. The little foam that goes around to protect my kayaks, it's all ripped to shreds. So now I'm going to have to go get some pool noodles and look like a true redneck. So I think I might use some electric tape. Be a styling redneck. So, yeah, we're having fun, and then we find another way going down. And it's about, instead of 60, it's like more like 40. So we go on that, have fun, go around. And then here comes the one part. It's a 7-foot vertical. All right, for someone short like me, that's tall. I'm like, my Jeep can do it. My buddy's like, I'm going to find another way. I'm like, peer pressure 1 and peer pressure 2, come on. No, follow me. So I go over, I got my left tire on the tread, I'm doing good, and there's a little hill, I got my right tire, I'm like, all right, I'm going to ride this, and halfway through, I'm going to kick it back, and I'll be level, right? No. That right tire went too far up. Boom. Jeep's on its side, and my wife's like, ah! My kids are like, ah! My son's like, ah! Because he hit his knee on a rock. All right, he didn't tell me this until later on, so I got my wheels canted to the left. I just floored it, flipped it, and the vehicle goes boom, back and forth. I'm like, woo! Start just throwing rocks everywhere because it went into the ravine. I'm like, yeah! My son's crying. I turn around. He's 13. I'm like, dude, what's the matter? A rock hit my knee. I'm like, why was your leg out of the vehicle? It wasn't. So yeah, we went on our side. So one of the rails on the side, the rock rails, all bent up. So yeah, good time. Yeah, I met my inner redneck. Of course, Dakota came down on the softer side. And then driving back, so there's a thing called death wobble, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You're driving a vehicle, you're like, doing 50. Oh, I'm good on the interstate. All right, I want to get up to 80. 60. Front end. Like, it'll buff out. 65, 70, like 50. And my buddy behind me is honking. What's the matter? He's honking at me. I can't talk to him, so I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, 1 hour and a half, well, that's almost 2.5 hours coming home. I get underneath, everything's loose, so I spent the whole day tightening everything up, getting the mud out. You ever been to those car washes? They got the little spray nozzle, the high pressure, put quarters in, usually a sign, no heavy mud. I go at night. There's no one there. And I put like $30 in there. I'm like, go.
Sorry. Like a little coin.
Chicking, 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 chicking.
Go get you a blown speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And you just rub the magnet of the speaker against that, and it takes it as money. I didn't say that. That may or may not work over here. No, though.
Ooh. Hey, so really off topic. Why don't Chinese people play slot machines? Every time they hit cash out, it goes chink, 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 chink. Yeah, I used to work at a casino. It's fine. Okay? It is. I used to deal Pai Gow tiles and Pai Gow poker at the Taj Mahal. Yes.
It's okay, I'm half Spanish.
I am half Spanish.
I know, that's...
You see, it's okay.
That doesn't make it okay.
It does. So I used to deal Pai Gow tiles and Pai Gow poker, Chinese games, right? And everyone in there is Chinese, Asian, squinty eyes, lots of hot water and tea and soup, and the soup's good when it's so annoying. And yeah, so you go around, everyone's speaking in Chinese, everyone's cheating. So they wanted the lo fan, which is, Mandarin for round eye. It's a derogatory term for white guy, round eye. So they wanted the lo fan to be the dealer because I'm not in on it. So it was great. Except for one of the guys kept yelling at me, Maka-ai, Maka-ai, Maka-ai. Little old, Japanese guy just, Maka-ai, 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 right at me. It's Mandarin for mother effer. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, and then he's shaking the dice in a little cup. I wish I had the sound. So it's my turn. Boom! Slammed it right at him, and I said, "Sit fun!" And everyone starts laughing. Oh, you're so funny! You're so funny! So fun! Sit fun is Mandarin for eat rice. So it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. Right? Like my wife yelling at me in Spanish. I have no idea what's going on. She's half awake. I'm delirious because I'm working like a dog and I only got 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. And she'll yell at me. La, 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 la. Okay. By the way, I just came back from my second sleep study. I have a CPAP. I have moderate sleep apnea. Mm-hmm. Anyone got one of them sleep masks? Yeah, it's not fun. So they first put the one on your nose, right? You have to sleep with your mouth closed. If not, it's not going to do anything. I'm like, okay. I can't do this. Then they put the mask over it. I'm like, oh, this is so much better. I got my mouth. But when I open my mouth, it feels like I'm putting my face out the window and driving down the interstate. I'm like, all I need is like, we should patent a little thing, which got 2 little sprays on it. Every time you open your mouth, it goes a little bit of moisture with like some mouthwash. Okay? So that way you wake up refreshed, healthy, and good breath. The little spritzers and water inside the mask for sleep apnea. That's the next patent.
No morning breath.
No morning breath. So back in the day, when I used to work in a casino, I drank. I don't drink anymore. This is over 20 years ago. So I drink every night, go to bed drunk. I wake up next morning, and I would take 3 shots of Rumplemans. Dum, dum, dum. So I'm not hungover no more. Not only that, it's liquid Altoids, so I have fresh breath. Don't need to brush my teeth. I don't eat anyway. It was great. And then I get to work, and I just be drinking Southern Comfort or whatever I had. So again, like I said, today we're going to go through a weird, weird trip. All right. I went to Branson about 3 weeks ago with the family. 5-hour trip. So last time I went to Virginia, 15-hour trip. I'm like, no, we're not doing that again. Branson. Everyone been to Branson?
Lots.
Yeah, tourist trap, right? But here's the other bad thing. We have a timeshare. I went to the timeshare last time when I went to Virginia. So I went to the timeshare this time. And of course, they're like, oh, sir, you want to come and hear our pitch? We have new things that are happening, and we can tell you all about it, and maybe you can buy in. Maybe take advantage of the new changes. No. Oh, we'll give you a gift card, $175. My wife's like, yes, we'll do it. I'm like, oh, come on. So we went to Branson, went to the top of the rock. It's real nice. And that's where our retreat was. So we didn't go off the reservation at all. We stopped by Walmart on the way in, bought a whole cooler worth of food, and we cooked in our room. It was great. So we cut back on going out to eat, because, I can't afford going to Cracker Barrel now with 4 people. That's $100 to $120. That's without a tip. I'm sorry. You're not getting a tip. No, we do tip. And then when you do the tip thing, you slide your card, and it automatically goes like 18% and higher. Like, what happened to 10%? Why does it got to go up? I know inflation, but please, you're getting inflated with my inflation. Now they're inflating it again. I'm like, math, right? Math? I'm just like, no. So, yeah, we don't got to eat that much. So, at Branson, we cooked all our own meals. We went fishing. I caught a bunch of catfish, a bunch of bass. And there I am, flaying on the dock while all the other tourists are coming, right? I'm just there in the water. Just took the guts, just threw it in the water. I was like, this man's crazy. Well, one of the locals came up to one of the guys that works there. Excuse me, sir. Yeah. What are you doing? Flaying fish. Yeah. Could you not do that? Well, how the hell am I going to eat it? And, yeah, they didn't like it. So I had to put the fish guts in a bag. So what I did was in the middle of the night when I came back, I walked down to the docks, opened the bag, right around the dock's ledge just float there. Yeah. I'm not good, believe it or not. Look like I'm a good person, but I do take advantage of some things. So we're walking through a Walmart, and it was kind of like a ghetto Walmart. Walked through, there's one of the ladies on the side, and they have all those little different things for selling tickets. And I'm like, hey, we got a special. Da-da-da. My wife's walking, she starts turning, I grab her arm. Come on. I said, I'm sorry, I'm on a diet. And the lady's like, you eat paper? Yes. That's why I'm always backed up. So no fingers in the butt, okay? None of that. Apple cider vinegar. I told this story before. Anyone remember apple cider vinegar? Good, I'm telling you again. All right, so I had surgery. This arm in a sling. Haven't pooped in like 3 days because my wife's been feeding me nothing but rice and chicken and beans, like a full-blooded Hispanic male. A big mound of it. I'm eating it because I'm high on Percocets and everything else. I'm like, this is so good. Well, 3 days later, I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel good at all. You went eat? Oh, no. So a good friend of my wife says, give your husband apple cider vinegar. So my wife goes, oh, okay. Pours me a glass of apple cider vinegar. Honey, drink this. Again, I'm stoned on Percocets. I'm like, okay. Half a glass. I'm like, I can't. Oh, it's nasty. Why am I drinking that? It'll make you feel better, honey. 20 minutes later. I run to the bathroom and I'm just like stuck to the bowl and everything's just coming out. It was mind altering. So apple cider vinegar, no finger, okay? It works. 20 minutes, half a glass. What else has happened during my life? A lot of different things happen at work. I'm now the flight chief, so I'm now the boss, which is scary. Yeah, it's dangerous. All the kids that work for me are like 20, 22. I have one guy that's 26. He's one of the dumbest ones there. I'm like, oh, great. Like the blind leading the blind. Plus, I'm leaving in 3 months. So the guy that's going to take over for me is 24, bless you. And he has no clue what he's doing. I have no clue what I'm doing. So what? Yeah. So with that said, our unit had a fundraiser. I'm like, yeah, we're going to go to NASCAR. Okay. Again, inner redneck, I met some outer rednecks. So we went up to that speedway over here. Wasn't bad. Went to NASCAR. I've been to an IndyCar race. I thought it was cool. NASCAR is completely different. Yeah, NASCAR is louder. When the cars go by, the wind hurts because this is not wind. It's rubber and rocks. And there I am on the edge of the line wearing the something Raceway t-shirt. Got the logo, it's bright orange. Sunglasses, hat on backwards because it kept coming off. Trying to tell people, you can't stand against the fence. Stop standing against it. Stop. And people are your size. You're a big dude. I'm a little dude. Okay. Sir, back up. Sir, back up. Sir, back up. Sir, what the? And then the cars are like, boom, 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 boom. So I just start screaming, ah! He can't hear me anyway. He's right here. So I just start going. And then it's like, you ever seen the video where the little short kid is swinging at someone and they're holding by the head? And he's like, that's me. So it was a fun time. And as we're doing this, something hits my leg, right? Cars going by, boom, 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 boom. What was, ooh, a rock. I pick it up. Never pick up anything that hits you at a raceway. I'll tell you why. I burnt my fingers. You can't see it here, but they were bright gold and black. It was a brake pad. Brake pads get hot. Brake pad exploded on car. Brake pad hit 6 different people. Yeah, people went to the hospital. Of course, they didn't put anything on TV about it. It was like, I'm sorry, the NASCAR car number 14 broke. Yeah, yellow flag. Yeah, people like, ah! I'm like, oh, what the hell? Pouring water on. So yeah, don't pick up anything out of raceway. But one of the cool things about volunteering over there is I got to go out on the finish line. I never knew this, but you can go on the finish line and sign the checkered blocks. Got to with a Sharpie, bring your own, because most people don't. And you could write whatever you want as long as it's not profanity. So a whole bunch of people out there just signing everything. And then the lady that's running everything asked us to take photos and everything. So I'm like, okay, we're going to have fun with this. So I'm like, hey, sign the block here. I have a Sharpie. I'll take an action photo, okay? She was like, action photo? Yeah. You get down on your knees and you sign, and then you look up at me. And I take a picture with your phone. Oh, okay. And I'm like this. Look up. And then every now and again, I just reverse the picture. And we go, and then I take more pictures of them. So everyone's got pictures of my face. And then pictures of them and their family. Because, you know, it's a memorable moment. I had nice shiny glasses. I had my hat. I had the orange shirt. Yeah, I want to haunt their dreams. Also, one lady's walking by me. And she's got her phone. And she's walking this way. Cars are going that way. She doesn't want to look. She's just videotaping. And she was wearing a really nice dress. Okay, you get what I mean. And I'm like, okay. And then when I turned my head, I saw that I'm on the phone. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then she looks at it and she goes, hey. Of course, but you hear, boom, 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 boom. So in my head, I heard, hey. And part of what she said was, you dirty bastard. Yeah, so that was a fun time. And then another thing I love to do when I volunteer is I love to buy finger discounts. I love stickers, I love hats, I love shirts. Anything I can get my hands on. So we got into the tunnel, into the back pit area where everyone could walk around. I got into the pits. I started walking around, touching the tires. Ooh, boom, 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 boom. These things are pretty cool. There's no tread. I don't get it. Okay. Must be a redneck thing. Yeah, I got a couple hats that were hanging around, and I gave them out to my buddies when we got back. And then they had a game where they had toilet bowls and fake poos. See, it's always going back to poo. And you had to get 2 of them in the bowl. And you got a free hat or a shirt for one of their companies, like Up Something, like whatever. So, yeah, we got a bunch of hats and shirts because I went over by the toilet bowl and went, boom, boom, boom. Hey, you got 4 in. That's like 2, right? It's like, did you cheat? No. If you ain't cheating, you're not trying, right? So, yeah. And then we got to walk around. Yeah, I kind of like mosey my way all over the place. We got some free food because they left the back door open to one of the little areas, and they saw we were volunteers. I'm like, oh, yeah. I just walked in, saw a burger, fries, hot dog, beer. My buddy's like, what'd you do? I'm like, I'm hungry. He's like, I'm hungry too. I'm like, there's another one. And then we're just like, nom. It was great. Except for the bad thing was the volunteers had to park their car across the interstate over by the landfill, the retired landfill, and they had a trolley that picked us up and brought us over to the raceway. Them bastards don't have the trolley going back. So we had to walk from the raceway all the way over to where they told us to meet the trolley. Then the lady goes, there's no trolleys. That was only in the beginning. You gotta be kidding. Walk all the way over, up the stairs, across the level of the road, down to the other alternate parking lot, and then we're walking with the traffic, and then we had to cut across the little road area, playing Frogger, because no one slows down, okay? They all think they just saw NASCAR. They all think they can drive NASCAR. I don't get it. No, it's different. We got to our vehicles, and we just kick rocks everywhere. I'm like, I don't care what the car's behind me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Going up to Branson was a lot of fun. They kept saying, got to see this guy named Clay. He's been there like 30 years. Like, oh, Clay's the best. Clay's the best. He's a comedian. He's a singer. I'm like, okay. Hey, you got to see Clay. You got to see Clay. I'm like, all right, where is he? He's over by Devil's Pool. I'm like, okay. My wife's like, I don't like Devil's Pool. That doesn't sound right. We go over there. They had a salt water pool. Heated salt water pool. I melted it. Like, oh, this is amazing. Hot tub, salt water. Oh, this is amazing. Clay came out and started singing. I don't care. Yeah, my wife listened to him. I go, I don't care. I'm going to So we all like hot tubs. I don't call them hot tubs when I'm around my family. I call them people soup. Because basically it's a bunch of people in a boiling pot of water. All you need is put in some carrots, some potatoes, a little celery, and maybe a little coconut oil, add a little spice, a little lubricant. Yeah, people soup. But we had a good time, and then walking back, we got the trolley. Ling-ling. So they had a little app, you call it trolley, the guy comes over, and you're supposed to tip the trolley driver. He's getting paid full time, he's got an easy job, he's retired. I'm not tipping him. I'm sorry, I'm not tipping him. You're taking me from the pool to where I'm sleeping 10 minutes away. I'll walk, but you're here, so. And then over by the entrance, they had a fresh hot cookies every night. So yeah, I go there, I take 2 packs, and they're like packs of 4. My wife would take like 3 packs, put them in her purse. My kids would just, right in front of the person that's working there, just take a whole bunch. Thank you for the cookies. When we came home after our 5-hour drive at the end of the week, we had a big bag full of all these cookies. They had chocolate, oatmeal, chocolate chip. I don't know. One, I think it was like a macadamia nut. It was great. So I gained a lot of weight. And then we went to the Sound and Sight Theater up there. It was really good. I'm not a Bible thumper, but we did see David, and it was really, really good. I liked the special effects. The actors were great. There was one part with the big giant, just like when they were fighting against Goliath, and Goliath's like, grrr, but still making noise. I'm gonna curse you. And everyone's like, Oh no, it's not moving. Technical difficulties. We'll resume back in 15 minutes. And the clearance closed. I'm like, okay. Everyone goes after those boiled almonds, or no, glazed almonds, not boiled peanuts, glazed almonds. And everyone's just like, my wife's like, you gotta have one. I'm like, okay, it's great. She's like, I want to get more. I'm like, this stuff is crack for like religious people. Maybe that's why I'm not. Okay, no. But I do like boiled peanuts from Georgia. You ever have boiled peanuts? Yeah, be careful because with the southern accent, I want some boiled peanuts. Boiled peanuts. I don't want the little ones, I want the big ones. I'm like, okay, I want the Cajun ones. So I like to live dangerously. I'll get the regular boiled peanuts and then the Cajun boiled peanuts and put them in a bag. I want mixed boiled peanuts. Yeah. So boiled peanuts are really, really good. They're real soft and delicate, and you suck out the little nuts in there. And it's like, oh, it's salty and fatty. And I'm glad I'm going back to Georgia just for that. That and Kroger's. I love Kroger's. I know you have Schnucks. Schnucks is nice. Kroger's is better. Deerberg's. No, it's too damn expensive. I can't afford it. It's $120 for a brisket. I'm like, I go on base. Brisket is $90. I'm like, inflation sucks. So the price of beef is going up everywhere. I no longer eat red meat because I can't afford it. So I'll eat chicken and fish. And I usually fillet my fish right there by the water. Now, if anyone has any chickens, let me know. I come over to your house, I'll kill the chickens, I'll take them home with me too. Okay? I got 2 kids. My son's like a bottomless pit. He just keeps eating and eating and eating. And I'm like, where are you putting it all? Because he's un flaco, really, really thin. And he's 5'9" now. And he's 13. My wife she says she's 4'12". No, she's like 4'11". Honey, I'm 4'12". That's not a thing. 5 foot. No. Yes. No. If you've met my wife, you know she's short. But she's so cute. Smiling. And it's like, yeah. He's tall. She's short. I'm the tallest one in my family. And the only other thing we bring is diabetes. So, yeah. Mustache, diabetes, and we're short. Speaking of that, I just saw a podiatrist the other day. Not a proctologist, podiatrist. Okay? All the way down. So I had this pain in the back of my heel. Every time I step, I lean forward, ow. It hurts. Okay? Like that. Ow. So I'm in the military, we're going for a run. All right, guys, we're going to do a 2-mile run because the Secretary of Defense wants to increase our PT standards because increased PT standards leads to lethality. Department of War is going to make us more lethal. Yeah, it's going to cost us billions of dollars to go from the DOD to the DOW. Now, is the Dow like the funds or is it DOW? I don't know. DOW, POW, DOD, I'm getting all confused. I can't wait to retire. It doesn't make sense, okay? So we go on this 2-mile run. Next thing I'm like, oh, my foot. Go to the doc, like, you have tendonitis, and you're flat-footed. I've never been flat-footed before. It hurts. Okay, we'll put you on a profile. Okay, what does the profile say? No running. Okay. Sounds good. So I still do sit-ups and push-ups for my PT test. So it's great. No running. I hate running. Running is stupid. Yes. When we're at war, we don't run. We don't. Click, 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 click. Or now, we use a mouse. Bombs away. Because we have drones. And then you have pilots, which are in our aircraft. No one runs anymore, especially in the Air Force. We are support. Okay, we are support. We lead from behind. Pilot, you go. Blow it up. So, yeah, I just saw the podiatrist today. He goes, okay, so what's going on? All excited, like a little squirrel. Oh, what's going on? There's new feet to look at. I love feet. I'm like, the back of my heel hurts. When I walk, it hurts. When I stretch it out, it hurts just like that. You know? And he's like, oh, okay, wait, take x-rays. Takes x-rays, and he comes over, he's like, oh, yeah, position it that way. Oh, yeah, obliques. Oh, yeah, laterals. Oh, I'm like, dude, you're scaring me. Yeah. And I think I hear him underneath his breath go, I want to cut you open. No. Bada. No, bad. Okay. So I am now not a flat foot, I am a falling arch. So a falling arch is, from what I'm told, is you have a regular foot, it looks like that, and then when you stand, it goes bloop, it goes flat. So all the tendons are all messed up. And I have a heel spur in the back of my heel, my os callos, a big bone on the back. That's supposed to be like the strongest bone in your body. True?
True.
All right, see? Trivia. Bones. Yeah, so I got a spur, so we're going to have to go in there with a rasp, which is a big file. You know, they're going to cut me up and go in a rasp. Like I'm Parmesan cheese. And of course, it's going to be that doctor. I can't wait to put this on my spaghetti. No. So they ordered some arches for me, and they told me I got to do some stretches. I'm like, all right, we have to special order these arches. We got to send them out to, like, I don't know, Tanzania. Okay, how long is it taking to get here? I don't care. 4 weeks. 4 weeks to get special arches for my sneakers. And then he's going to take my sneakers and my boots, my military boots, because these actually feel better on my feet. And they have to grind out some of the inside so that the arches will fit in. I'm like, he's just milking the insurance company. I don't care, as long as my foot feels better. Yeah. And then the lady's like, sir, I need you to fill out this form so we can bill your insurance. Well, so who in the right mind is going to say, no, I'm going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. Okay, it should be more like this. No, I don't want you to bill my insurance. I want to pay for it. Yeah. And I'm like, no, Bill, take all their money. Donald Trump. I don't care. You know? Yeah. Insurance companies are a scam. They really are. So, Doc says, okay, it's going to cost $400. TRICARE says, we'll pay it. Here's $50. And then I get an argument between TRICARE and the doctor goes, TRICARE only paid me $50, you owe $350, I get a bill. Whoop. And I have to go to TRICARE. I have a $350 bill, man. I can't pay it. I serve in the military. You are the one that's supposed to go to. You told me go to this pediatric. No, you pay the money. So 6 months later, after I have the people call me up, sir, we're gonna start taking money away from your bank account. We're gonna start putting this stuff on your credit report because you're not paying your bills. Yeah, after around that time, then they cleared it all up. So I love TRICARE. It sucks. So that's about it. So I ended one of my last nights with, hey, remember, if you push too hard, it's a shit. Thank you very much.
Frank and all his poop jokes. I didn't realize that being involved in the military meant like you had to involuntarily volunteer to do crazy shit and shit yourself. Anyway, it's like ever since I met